Since the release of Helluva Boss, one of the most important parts of the fandom has been fan animations. They're a great way of putting your own spin on the characters, with many of them getting millions of views. In the past 2 days, a Stolas fan animation has risen to a cult status, almost to a creepypasta type level. Some people love it, other people absolutely despise it, and a lot of fans are somewhere in between. In my 6 years in the fandom, I haven't seen anything like this at all, and it's caused a real uproar across every website. In this video, I'll discuss YouTube's Darkest Helluva Boss Animation. Also, this is very important, but like I said, the source material is very dark. So massive trigger warning if you're sensitive to dark topics or self-harm. Let's get into it. So 2 years ago in November 2023, artist dwinni uploaded the Goodbye Horses Helluva Boss fan animation. Coming out of seemingly nowhere, the animation was a huge hit, garnering over 3 million views. The animation depicts the aftermath of the circus fire in Oops. We see a bleeding Blitz crawling towards Cash and Barbie, who are stunned after the accident. Blitz collapses on the floor and the animation ends. It's no wonder this animation blew up. The quality of the backgrounds and animation itself is Spindlehorse level quality. It's great stuff. You'd almost think it's made by someone working on the show, it's that good. The subject matter of the video is dark, dealing with the aftermath of the tragedy that set all of Helluva Boss in motion, but it's wonderfully made and it's not too dissimilar from what we saw in Oops. I think this is why it resonated with a lot of fans. It's believable and raises the question of what did happen after the circus burned down. Since the release of Goodbye Horses, dwinni continued to post other animations on various other properties. These are all in Russian, so I won't cover them, but on April 20th of 2025, their second Helluva Boss animation, titled Now That You're Gone, was released. Just like its predecessor, this animation came out of nowhere. It wasn't widely advertised, but it quickly became infamous. Sitting at 1 minute and 23 seconds long, Now That You're Gone tells the story of Helluva Boss through the perspective of Stolas. At the beginning, there's a short disclaimer warning that there is blood and all tricks are done by professionals, don't try to repeat it. The video features music from the 2019 song Now That You're Gone by indie alternative band The Raconteurs. So the first segment starts with Stolas walking through his house singing. It's interlaced with clips of a stumbling Blitz who is held by Moxie and Millie. We see Stolas with Stella clinging to him and then Stolas getting dressed, fixing his crown and outfit. The penultimate scene shows Stolas staring at the screen and he slowly gets more worried, with his pupils growing larger. The photos in the background slowly shift from images of Octavia, Andre and Stella to distorted portraits of Blitz, each one more sinister than the last. It then quickly cuts to Stolas in the middle of the street, staring at IMP's headquarters as he ends his own life using a pistol. As we see Stolas' body lie lifeless on the street, Blitz jumps over him saying, "Wake up, asshole," in an almost comedic tone, as if nothing has happened. So I think the video is masterfully done. You can come away feeling many different emotions. In my opinion, I think the video is a sequel to Goodbye Horses, but through the perspective of Stolas. In Goodbye Horses, we saw Blitz's trauma and the indifference his family shows towards him because of what he did. Now That You're Gone flips the script and instead gives us a look through the eyes of Stolas. The beginning of the video shows a contrast between the two characters. Stolas is proud and has everything you can dream of: a wealthy house, a fancy outfit, extravagant parties, and a beautiful wife. This contrasts to a stumbling Blitz, the only two people around him being Moxie and Millie. My favourite part is when Stolas is staring at the camera. It's pretty unnerving with Stolas' lifeless expression, but the subtle switching of the portraits is eerie. Each portrait represents a part of Stolas' life. We have his childhood, his daughter, his wife, and Andre represents his Ars Goetia job. However, they all get replaced with distorted frames of Blitz. It highlights how Stolas has sacrificed everything for Blitz. It's overtaken his life and he's lost everything as a result. It then cuts to the scene where Stolas ends his own life. Obviously the darkest moment of the animation. Stolas is at his lowest point and tragically ends it all. I think the decision to stare at IMP's headquarters is important as well. IMP and Blitz took everything from him. The last thing he sees before he dies is the root cause of many of his problems. Lastly, we have Stolas dead on the floor and Blitz walking over his body, jokingly remarking for him to get up. It's both tragic and funny. It feels really in character for Blitz, and it did get a laugh out of me. I've seen people say this video depicts a pilot Stolas, but I wouldn't say so. I think the Stolas in this video is from an alternate reality, a version of the story where perhaps things were different for him. Maybe Stella actually loved him. Maybe his childhood was different, or perhaps he worked his way up in the Ars Goetia. However, like in the main timeline, he lost everything including his daughter, but this time Blitz doesn't care for him. In the actual show, Blitz loves Stolas, he cares for him, brings him in, and it leads to that beautiful scene at the end of Sinsmas. The story depicted in Now That You're Gone is the opposite. If you're a fan of Stolas, or Stolas in general, it'll make you thankful of what happened in the actual show, because perhaps in another reality that isn't how things ended up. Genuinely, this is one of my favourite fan animations. It's got a mix of believable storytelling with wonderful animation. Again, like with Goodbye Horses, it's Spindlehorse level quality. A lot of fans thought this was official or perhaps a sneak peek of season 3 while watching. The music fits the story, the scenes are well crafted, and the tragic ending can leave you feeling any number of emotions, be it sadness, confusion, or happiness. So after the release of the video, the uproar was instant and loud. Firstly, a lot of people criticised the disclaimer at the start, and personally I agree. The disclaimer says there'll be blood but nothing else. Helluva Boss is full of dark themes, but I can understand why a lot of fans weren't ready to see images of their favourite character dying in front of them. The disclaimer absolutely should have been longer and more in-depth. It was way too vague, so I think the vagueness of the disclaimer surprised and shocked a lot of fans once the animation was over. I wasn't able to fact check this, but apparently the video wasn't age restricted when it came out. There's no way for me to check this, but it says it was age restricted by the uploader, so maybe they did it after some backlash, or perhaps it was always that way. Otherwise, the video is age restricted, so it includes links to suicide hotlines, and the thumbnail is blurred when searching in the search ratings, and it won't appear recommended to people on YouTube. You have to search for it. So, like I said, the reception was overwhelmingly mixed. On TikTok especially, the video was re-uploaded in its entirety many times. The biggest example sits at 1 million views with 200,000 likes. A lot of these re-uploads also cut out the warning disclaimer at the start, so tens of thousands of fans saw the video on their feed, thought it was a fun Stolas animation made to the beat of a song, and then moments later watched in horror as their comfort character shot himself. I personally think this is a little funny, but pretty sad as well. They should have kept the disclaimer in, obviously. TikTok really sucks at censoring content, and at least YouTube had the big disclaimer when you click on it. TikTok didn't have anything like this, so I can understand why a lot of people are upset, especially if they were first alerted to the video from TikTok. Similarly, on sites like Twitter and Reddit, fans were going crazy over the video. Lots of people said they were traumatized, while many said people were overreacting. There was other complaints as well, that the video should be taken down in its entirety, or that the video was far better written than the actual show, and that the actual Stolas should end up like Stolas in the video. I've seen a lot of people ask for an uncensored version of the video. As far as I'm aware, there was never an uncensored version available online. Apparently, Now That You're Gone was always censored, so the only person with access to the original copy without the blur is the creator dwinni. dwinni has no social medias other than YouTube, however, so the chance of a full uncut version being released is basically zero. So that's the entire history, release and aftermath of the Now That You're Gone Helluva Boss animation. Overall, like I said, I enjoy it. It's one of the best animated fan animations of all time about the show, but it's not without its faults. The video definitely should have had more disclaimers on it, and the TikTok re-uploaders absolutely screwed a lot of people over by uploading the full thing in its entirety with no warnings. I do think a lot of fans overreacted, however. As I discussed, there was countless posts of people saying it should be taken down, and I just disagree completely. It's art and a masterfully crafted piece. You can tell how much time and effort went into it. It's made as a tribute to the show and its story. If you don't like it, that's completely fine, but asking for YouTube to remove it isn't fair at all. A lot of people also hyped it up too much, with many saying it was the scariest thing they've seen online. Again, I think that's a bit of an overreaction. The video is dark, but let's be real, we've all seen way worse. I've seen videos a trillion times worse from just scrolling through Twitter or TikTok.
Don't look, Charlie! Is this really supposed to be? I mean, I've seen way worse stuff than this on the internet.
The video is practically rent-free on people's feeds at the minute. It's funny that people were saying not to share it, but then they proceeded non-stop talk about it, further driving attention to the original upload. So that's everything I wanted to say, really. Have you watched Now That You're Gone? Did the video live up to the expectations you had for it? Or are you not a fan at all? I'm interested to hear your perspectives down below. Thanks for watching.
See opposition get starving like my GTG ain't parking. No right step when I'm marching. Dip Prince, I've been dancing. I beg you pardon, SEO Sav, get out there and clot it. Where it started like